World's OKest Drummer, and we're back for episode 2 of this fundamental course on Let's Get to Know Our Drum Set. So in the last episode, we talked about things like the grip, how to hold the stick, split it into 3 parts, grab it down on that third so we've got some exposed. We talked about how we stroke, how we're playing either with our fingers, our wrists, or our elbows, shoulders, all of that. Today we're going to kind of put a little bit of that into practice, and we're going to start with our first very basic beat. This is called a linear pattern, and linear means that no things hit at the same time. So we won't play anything like that's hitting together. So it's all different. So the first thing I want you to do, first of all, always, I say always, often I think you should practice with a metronome. So we're going to put this metronome, and I'm going to think about that beat right there coming in on beat 2 and 4. So 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So a good way to kind of change the beat around. I'm a big proponent on playing. When you're practicing with a metronome, don't always put it right on the downbeat, and don't have these subdivided chunks so much. You want kind of quarter notes, so it could be 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, or 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think it's good to be able to kind of experiment by leaving the metronome on one click, and this is about 40 clicks per minute, and making it different stuff, like kind of moving it around. And what I do is, in order to get myself oriented in that mind, I'm going to think, let's say I wanted to put it on the end of 2 and the end of beat 4. What we'll do is we'll start using that. So I'm going to start saying and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. If I want it on the end of beat 1, for instance, I listen to it for a second, get it in my head. So I'm going to say and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I think that's a really good exercise to get you thinking in time and getting it comfortable with the metronome being in different spots. For today, we're just going to use it on 2 and 4, so I'm going to say 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to put kick drums on beats 1 and 3, 3, 4, so 1, 3, so kick drum, kick drum. Now what I'm also going to do is I'm going to try to keep the snare drum on beats 2 and 4. So it's going to go get us on beat 2 again. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare. And I want you to do this, even though it's just a simple, very simple beat. I want you to practice it so much so that you can kind of zone out and put it on autopilot. Let's try it. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If the Met goes away, you're playing in good time with it. Try to make each note clear, each note distinct. Try to make each note the same as the one that came before it. Work on consistency. Sit there and do that a long time. And notice this is very slow. This is not some kind of... Right? We just want to practice getting nice and slow. And in my head, though, I'm thinking 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So, we're going to put the Met back on, and now we're going to try to add the hi-hat on the ands of the beats. So what I'm thinking about doing is going 1 and 2 and. So I'm going bass drum, hi-hat, snare drum, hi-hat. So I'm thinking of moving like this: down, snare, down, hi-hat, snare, hi-hat, down, hi-hat, snare, hi-hat, bass, hi-hat, snare, hi-hat, bass, hi-hat, snare, hi-hat, bass, hi-hat, snare, hi-hat. Let's try it. 4, 1, 2. So let's get our bass and kick going, bass and snare drum on 1 and 3 again. 2, 3, 4, 1. Now just try to sneak one little hi-hat in there. 3, 1. Do that till you get comfortable. Stay with it. And now, once you get comfortable with it, you can kind of start playing around with it. And if ever you get caught off guard or you're trying to add something new into the mix, what you need to do is concentrate on the things you know can't go wrong. I'm solid on that. If this gets weird up here, pull that back, pull the hi-hat back, and concentrate on the snare and the bass. Okay? So that's one beat, and you can put any kind of variations. What you want to do is, if you don't have a metronome, first of all, there's a zillion apps that you can download for free metronomes. But if you don't have one on your phone, put on some music, put some headphones in. And the thing is that I don't want you to worry about yet what the drummer on the recording is doing and trying to imitate that. I want you just to simply keep time to the song until you feel super comfortable with that. Cool? So, the next thing that I want to talk to you about is a nonlinear groove. And a nonlinear groove is something where we hit at the same time. Either or, we're going to have something that hits simultaneously. And I find that for a lot of students, in the very beginning, that's it kind of weirds you out, just striking something together at the same time. So, just kind of going back to that same beat. Bass and snare. Instead of putting it on the ands of the hi-hats, go back to the snare and the bass. The first thing I want you to try is you're going to hit the hi-hat on the downbeat with the bass drum. Let's go back to the bass and snare and get that solid, and then after that we're going to start adding in some hi-hat things that land on the same time as you're hitting the bass and snare. So we'll have a together, both together. So bass and snare, You got to get comfortable with that so it's nice and lazy, relaxed, forgotten, and then we can go 1. Every bar. Every time we hit the bass drum, we're hitting the snare drum. Now go back to snare drum and bass drum alone. Now we're going to try, every time we strike the snare drum, we're going to hit the hi-hats. Nice and close, nice and tight with the feet. So it's going to go. Every time. Every time. So now, let's kind of take and put, if we're going to hit with the snare drum together and the bass drum together, now we're going to try to play quarter notes. So we're going to play snare drum, bass drum, snare drum, bass drum. Hi-hat hits all those quarter notes. So snare, bass, and then on top of that we have, so. Now, for a lot of you, this is going to be a little difficult right off the bat. Just if you're not used to doing this already, it's gonna take some getting used to. So stay there. We're going to go back to bass and snare. Then we're going to say we're going to hit every single hit on the hi-hats. Go. Then we can kind of sneak in maybe 2 8s. Now keep the 8th notes going all the way through the beat. So, what I tell my students to do after we've been practicing something and your brain gets kind of scrambled, you kind of get to that point where you kind of feel like you're full, I can't take it anymore. I do this thing, I tell them, say, hey, take a freestyle. And a freestyle means you strike anything. Just kind of start hitting stuff. Just kind of go nuts for a second. Hit the drum. These things aren't meant to be, right? Have fun. Then after you get a little bit of that back out of your system, then you can start again with thinking. Now, back to that last lesson. My student was going boom, bap, boom, bap, bap, boom, bap, boom, bap, bap. So I would be singing that. And boom, bap, boom, bap, boom, bap, boom, bap, boom, bap, boom, bap, boom, bap. Now, I'm going to try to go just to kind of change it up, and you need to add your own variations and sit there when you're not around the drums and go doom 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 ba doom 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 bop. Just kind of make up these beats in your head. That way, and do them enough so that you can remember them, so that they're ingrained a little bit. And when you get behind the drums, or that's how it all starts. You have to think about it first, internalize it, and then you can play it. So we've got a linear pattern. Where I'm thinking of going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, doom, stats, doom, stats. Kind of thinking of that in my head. For the non-linear pattern, we're just going to start again with the backbeat. 1 and 3, 3, 1, 3, 2 and 4, 2, 4, 2, 4. Then try to put quarter notes on everything. Sneak in notes. And every time you add something, if something gets weird, back it out and go back to something you're familiar with. Before you know it, you got this going. I'd play that until you just can't stand it. Put a song on, play behind it, back it up, and you'll find yourself trying some things like this. Before you know it, you're putting bass drums in weird places, starting to think about it. Go back to what you're comfortable at. If you're not comfortable with that, go here. I think that gives you enough food for right now. Soli Deo Gloria. If you haven't looked it up yet, do it.